Hey Jags fans, this is Jaguars Forever, and in today's video I will be going over my mock draft that I've been working on for the last few days. So yeah, let's get right into it. In the first round with the 5th overall pick, I have us selecting Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. And I watched some of his tape and I did some research on him, so let's just cover the bases. He stands at 6'3", 296 pounds. And last year he accumulated 46 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and 1 pass deflection. And overall, all throughout his college career, he was a 2-time first-team All-Big Ten. He was a unanimous All-American just this past year. He was a second-team All-American in 2023. And of course, he was a part of that Michigan defense that won the national championship back in 2023. And overall, from watching his tape, I wrote down some notes on him. He can rush the pass with a bull rush, a swim move, he can stack and shed. He has a variety of ways to, get past that offensive lineman and get back there to the quarterback or just in the backfield in general. He is an elite run defender. He stays grounded. It's hard for, some of those offensive linemen to move him from what I've watched. He plays with a really good motor and he has great hand usage. He knows how to, like I said, stack and shed, swim, move. He can use his hands to his advantage. And like I said, it's really hard for those offensive linemen to stay in front of him. And I think by far, without a doubt, he's easily the best interior defensive line prospect in this draft class. And obviously he's been the most safe bet in all the mock drafts, and I'm all on board with taking him. The only way I would not take him with the 5th overall pick is if somehow Travis Hunter fell. I don't really think that's likely, but anything can happen in the draft. So yeah, I'm going with Mason Graham with our 5th overall pick. Next, for our second round, 36th overall pick, I have us selecting North Dakota State offensive lineman Gray Zabel. Zabel stands at 6'6", 312 pounds, so he has great length and size. He started all 16 games last year at left tackle for North Dakota State. He's a first-team All-MVFC in that conference. He was a first-team FCS All-American this past season, and he won 2 FCS national championships in both 2021 and 2024 with North Dakota State. The notes that I wrote down from watching him: he has quick feet, good lateral movement. He has great grip strength. That's the thing that popped out the most. Not only his size and his quickness, but that grip strength. Once he latched onto defenders, whether it's D linemen or if he went out in space and took on some safeties and cornerbacks, once he gets a hold of you, there's no you cannot get around him or get off of him. He has great strength and power. He plays with high IQ, great technique, and he's also very versatile. Like I said, the biggest thing about him on top of all that is his versatility. Throughout his career at North Dakota State, he started games at pretty much each position along the offensive line. So, I mean, even if he doesn't come in and isn't an instant starter, he can, if any injury happens, we can plug him in anywhere in the offensive line, and because he has experience at pretty much all 5 positions. So yeah, moving on. Next, in the 3rd round with the 70th overall pick, I have the Jaguars selecting Iowa State wide receiver Jaden Higgins. Higgins stands at 6'4", 214 pounds. Last season, he had 87 receptions for 1,183 receiving yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. He was a second-team All-Big 12 this past season. And from what I've watched, he has quick feet. He has quick release. He can get off pretty quick. He's definitely a red zone threat with that 6'4" frame. He can make contested catches, which not only is that good for the verticality in the offense, but like I said, with the red zone threats, he can make those big time contested catches in the red zone as well. And what I've noticed a lot too in his curl routes, he was able to get a lot of yards after catch, whether that's, you know, juking people, sidestepping them, all that. He's really good at getting yards after the catch after that. And he ran a 4.47 40-yard dash. To me, it being 6'4", over 200 pounds as a receiver, running the 4.4s, that's damn impressive to me. So yeah, I think he'd be a great compliment to Brian Thomas Jr., and I think he would solidify the top tier of that wide receiver group for us. And moving on for round 3, pick number 88 overall, I have us selecting Texas safety Andrew Makuba. Makuba stands at 5'11", weighs 186 pounds. Last year, he accumulated 69 tackles, 6 pass deflections, 5 interceptions, and 1 forced fumble. He was a member of the 3rd-team All-SEC team last season. And from what I've saw, he's a really good prospect. He's a great run defender. He's a big hitter, a great tackler. He covers a lot of ground fast. He's good at cutting off underneath routes, and he's good in coverage. Overall, he has versatility to play both strong and free safety, but from what I've saw, he's more of a free safety, but he has all the tools to be great. Next, round 4, pick 107, I have the Jaguars selecting Texas tight end Gunnar Helm. Helm stands at 6'5", 241 pounds, great size, And last year he accumulated 60 receptions for 786 receiving yards and 7 receiving touchdowns. He was also a member of the 2nd-team All-SEC this past year as well. And from what I saw, he's a good route runner, has good hands, as a solid blocker, can block very well. He can also be utilized in the screen game because from what I saw, Texas ran a lot of tight end screens to him, and he was able to actually get some pretty good yards off that as well. And he's very reliable. He's definitely a safety blanket for the quarterback, whether that's in the red zone or trying to convert a 3rd or 4th and short, whether it's blocking for the running back or catching the ball, he can do it all. Next, moving on, also staying in the 4th round with the 126th overall pick, I have the Jaguars selecting Maryland defensive tackle Jordan Phillips. He stands at 6'2", 312 pounds, and last season he accumulated 29 tackles. From what I saw, he has raw physical strengths. He's very strong and very powerful. He's a great run defender, and he has good technique and can power through double teams. This man is very, very strong. And just watching him move those offensive linemen was very impressive to me. And I think he could definitely help out the back end of that interior defensive line group and just add more depth. Moving on, round 5, pick 142 overall. I have the Jaguars selecting Central Florida running back R.J. Harvey. Harvey stands at 5'8", 205 pounds. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Maurice Jones-Drew with that size and, that weight. And this past season, he had 232 carries for 1,577 rushing yards and 22 rushing touchdowns. And he also ran a 4.41 40-yard dash. That's pretty dang fast. Last season, he was a 3rd-team. He was a part of the 3rd-team All-American. He was a 1st-team All-Big 12. And from what I read and what I saw, he's a patient runner. He has great vision. He's fast and agile. He can make guys miss. He can catch the ball in the backfield. So he has some versatility. He can, he's a dual threat back. He can run in, catch the ball. He has good contact balance. He's a little shorter, but with him being so low and compact to the ground, and him, being as strong as he is too at that size, he can power through tacklers. He can make them miss. He can, keep his legs churning. And he has great ball security. So, also too, I really don't see any scenario where Travis Etienne Jr. is on our team after this year. So R.J. Harvey could definitely be a good replacement for him. And heck, if he actually plays that good and shows up that quick, they could potentially, trade Travis Etienne Jr. Before their trade deadline and get some draft capital out of him. You never know. So, yeah. Moving on, in the 6th round with the 182nd overall pick, I have the Jaguars selecting Virginia Tech edge rusher Antoine Powell-Ryland. Powell-Ryland stands at 6'3", 258 pounds. And this past season, he had 43 tackles, 16 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. He was a part of the second-team All-ACC team in 2023. He made the first-team All-ACC this past season in 2024. And he was the Dudley Award recipient for this past season, which that's given to the top college football player in the state of Virginia. So it's a very high honor for him. And what I've watched, he's an excellent pass rusher. He has a variety of pass rush moves, whether that's the swim move, the spin move, or just winning based off his speed. Like, there was a lot of times where I saw him just winning based off his, his speed and his hand movement. He has strong hands, and he definitely produces at a high level. He accumulated 30 sacks throughout his tenure in college, and he had just at Virginia Tech, he had 25 and a half. So, yeah. Moving on, staying in the 6th round with the 194th overall pick, I have the Jaguars selecting Florida cornerback Jason Marshall Jr. Marshall Jr. stands at 6 foot tall, 194 pounds. And last season, he was limited because of injury, so he only played about half the games. But he accumulated 20 tackles, 4 pass deflections, and 1 forced fumble. From what I read and saw, he has good size and length. He's pretty athletic and definitely experienced. He started a lot of games and played a lot of football games for the Gators. He can read the quarterback well with his eyes. He moves pretty smoothly. He's pretty physical as a press defender. And he can hinder the catch space with his size and physicality. So, yeah, I know he's definitely experienced. So, like, he'll bring some experience to our room. And, I mean, maybe with some good coaching, he could, upgrade his level of, play and maybe, turn out to be a good player for us. And last but not least, in the 7th round with the 221st overall pick, I have the Jaguars selecting Auburn linebacker / edge rusher Jalen McLeod. McLeod is 6'2", 241 pounds. Last year, he accumulated 56 tackles for 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 pass deflection. And he also led that Auburn team last year with 13.5 tackles for loss. From what I saw and read, he definitely plays bigger than his size. He plays with high energy. He plays with a lot of effort. He has good technique. He's very good at using his hands to get off blocks. So, yeah, just watching him, he popped out. He was able to, rush that quarterback. He's not the best in coverage, but he can also, drop back when he needs to in coverage. So, yeah, and I think it would just be good to just add another linebacker to the, that pool of linebackers that we have right now. So, yeah. But yeah, that's my mock draft for today. Let me know if you guys agree with my picks or not. Like, tell me why you agree with me. Tell me why you don't. And yeah, so thank you everyone for watching this video. Please leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more Jaguars content. Go Jags.